Okay, let's see another problem relating to the issue of debentures, but this time they are issued at a premium and proportionate allotment. So let's see, XYZ Limited issued 9,011% debentures of 1,000 each at a premium of ₹100 each, for which ₹200 was payable on application, ₹800 at the time of allotment. The premium was also payable proportionately. The public applied for 12,000 debentures and all the debenture holders were issued debentures proportionately. You are required to give the necessary journal entries. Now, before we get into the journal entry stage, let us see how many debentures were issued. So the issue was made for 9,000 debentures. Issue is 9,000 debentures of ₹1,000 each at a premium of 1,100. The public applied for 12,000 debentures. So application came for 12,000 debentures. Okay, the premium was okay, and all the debenture holders were issued debentures proportionately. So basically, how much is the excess debentures which have been applied for? That is equal to the application less the proposed issue. So 12,000 minus 9,000 or 3,000 is the excess which has been applied for. The other thing that we need to ascertain here is that the debenture of ₹1,000 each, so there was a total fee of 1,000 for debentures, of which 200 was payable at the time of application and 800 was payable at allotment, right? But what we are also told is that there is a premium of ₹100 each, okay, and this 100 also payable proportionately. What does this mean? That if 1,000 is payable as 200 and 800 at the time of application and allotment, then this 100 is also payable proportionately, which means that if how much is 200 of 1,000 at the time of application, basically you have to pay 20% of total value, 200 upon 1,000, and at allotment you need to pay 80% of the total value. What the question says is that the premium was also payable proportionately. So this 100, 20% of this 100, which is 20, is paid at the time of application, and 80% of 100, which is 80, is paid at the time of allotment. So the total money due on application is 220 per debenture, and allotment is 880 at the time of allotment, and the value is 1,100. Right? Now, the next question which comes up is, how much money did you get at the time of application? Right? So you got an application of 12,000, right? And out of this 12,000, they would have paid you at the rate of 220. Why? Because this is what is due on application, right? So the total money that you got is going to be how much? 220 into 12,000, right? This will be equal to 26,40,000 or 2,640,000. Right? How much is the excess? The excess is 3,000 into 220, right? Again, as you do the multiplication, you get 660,000, right? Now there is nothing said as to what happened to this excess money, right? So there could be two manners in which this excess can be dealt with. This can be refunded, okay, or you can actually adjust this against allotment, right? Now this adjustment can happen because actually we are told that the debenture holders were issued debentures proportionately, right? So let's see how the entries work. At the time of application, you would pass the entry bank account debit. How much will the bank account be debited with? This will be the total money that you have received, which is 2640 to share debenture application account, right? Now on the application there can be two entries depending on whether you refund or adjust. So if you refund this or if you adjust this, right? Now this debenture application account will be debited by 2640, right? 2. Let's say you refund the balance, which is 660,000. So you will pay this from bank. So bank account will be credited by 6,60,000. Okay. 2. 11% debenture account. Now tell me, if suppose you were issuing 9,000 debentures, okay, and there was rupees 200 due on each of these debentures. Why 200? Because that's the nominal amount which is due on each of the debentures. So what will you credit to this 11% debenture account? This will be basically 9,000 into 200, right? Or you write this as 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Now these two have come in. What does the balance represent? The balance represents the premium received on debentures which you credit to security premium account, right? And how much is that? You received a premium of 20 rupees a debenture on 9,000 debentures. So this will be 1,80,000. If you do a sum total of these three numbers, these will be equal to this, right? So this was the case when you would have refunded this. What happens if you would have adjusted this against the debenture allotment amount? In that case, the only change that works is that instead of bank account, you would credit debenture allotment account, right? Now then what will happen at the time of debenture allotment? Again, when the debenture allotment money is due, you will write debenture allotment debit to 11% debenture account to securities premium account. So basically on 9,000 debentures, 800 is due towards the allotment. So 9,000 into 800 gives you 7,200,000. And in 9,000 debentures, 80 rupees per debenture will be due for share premium or securities premium, sorry. So this will be 720,000 and the total will be 7920. Okay. Now finally, when you get the money, you will debit your bank account. But how much money will you get? I mean, 7920 was due, out of which 660,000 has already been received at the time of application. So your bank account will be due by how much? 7920 minus 660,000. Okay. So you get the balance into 7260 to debenture allotment account. Right? On the contrary, if there was no adjustment done, then your bank account will be debited by actually this entire number, which is 7920,000, and the credit to the debenture allotment account will also be for the same amount.